are now live. Welcome. Got my borrowing these headphones, and they're like transformers. Wow, it really helped me get in the workflow. If I'm doing coaching calls, or I'm prepping before as well, like prepping myself to be more relaxed, so that I can go into anything I'm doing more Friday flow style, flow motion style, like just, but also moving. So I'm seated. So this is my office. I have an earth board. And as I'm coaching people, as I'm doing things, it's just like this. So this is my home office, right? And I know a lot of people are working from home now. So I lower my office down. So that's a dresser. So I'm like in deep squats, or I'm seated on the earth board. You could be seated on whatever. Like I had the AirX pad video the other day. You could just be seated on the floor. But as I'm engaging, I'm moving my body in different ways. I'm reshaping my body today based on everything from the previous day. Like, how did I treat my body? Did I nourish my body? Was there eustress, positive stress? Or is there more distress, tension, fast-paced fear, body, mind, spirit movement? Like, where are you moving in that holistic sense? Because a lot of us just focus on maybe the mind, especially now. It's like, this is super... But that's why it's important to move through a lot of that stuff. Vibrate. Like, it's all to communicate relaxation. Because if the mind is many, if there's too many mind, the body can get very tight and crispy. But especially with screens. So this is the other thing that I'm doing is I'm holding this, I'm looking in different ways with the iPad, for example. And then here's my other stuff. I got everything here. And this is out of our bedroom, but we have good energy behind us. So it's the feng shui of everything. How are you moving? How much are you moving? Is it relaxed and dancey? Or is it like fighting? Exercise should be fluid and fun and very relaxed, so you don't have tension after. Sometimes you need to work this out through like vigorous, or you go in a cold pool. Like, you have to surrender to the cold or you'll jump out. And then you can work on your breath work to keep you warm. So lots of things like that. So moving more holistically. Body, mind, spirit. Holistic movement. Hashtag holistic movement. Like, this is how we can think about this. Spirals in different ways, and support each other in very challenging times. In many different ways. Like, we find our kryptonites, our shadow selves, known in other language, like stuff that we don't know how to express. Could be anger, like, but you go into nature and you can scream, and like there's no one around, you can scream into a pillow, like, ah! Then you probably work into tears, sadness, and then you start to laugh, because that's a way of processing different levels of trauma. Movement, animals shake out trauma, so vibrate it so you're not holding on to tension. Because that tension, like if you're in the wild, you're not going to be able to run if something's chasing you. It's like, oh, I just pulled a hamstring. Wait, hey, please don't attack me. I pulled my hamstring. They'll be like, we're going for you. But that's this, you see that in the wild. I was reading about, in the book of Wolves and Men. And the way that it's like the predator-prey relationship is very, there's no pattern to it necessarily. They don't always kill the sick or the injured. Sometimes they go for the healthy. If you watch Last of the Mohicans at the beginning, like, they hunt and they give a blessing and they thank the animal. Like, thank you for the spirits for providing this animal, kind of thing. So it's this symbiotic, like we're all one relationship within the individual interactions. With nature, with creatures, with ourselves first, with other human beings. And a lot of solo practice. So when I was meditating this morning, so I do like a chill out bath and I meditate and I just like work on new skin, Gattaca, like recreate who I want to be. how I want to feel. Yesterday is gone. It's like a Beatles song. Recreate from today. How does my body feel today? And I check in with it. And so I'm in the bathroom and doing this in different ways. So it's like the Peter Pan story is amazing, right? For like the boy. For a lot of men, the boy has been like, oh, it's too rambunctious. We don't want to see that. It's mischievous. You have too much energy. ADD, ADHD. Sit down. Be quiet. So voices and they're like discovering. They're playing with different avatars. And then it's like, well, they don't like that, and then that becomes pushed down into a dark place. It's just a place that you don't visit often. You know, being your own guru is to illuminate your own dark spaces, the spaces you don't go and you bring out enough, right? Peter Pan plays with his shadow, solo. Like he knows the mischievous, and they be mischievous together, but then they learn from it. They grow from it, right? But it's the solo nourishment. Go to your shadow and you play with your shadow and you know your shadow. And then you know, like, you know yourself, right? And then it doesn't matter what anyone else says. It's like shadow, like mischievous self. You and I, we have a great time together. Shadow rage or anger, like we know we can get it out and like, blah! And maybe use isometric training to like put it in and then, oh, you evaporate it. Or you run like super vigorous. See, I gotta move as well. I gotta come up. Because being in a deep squat too often, you feel other things. So these are the things that I'm doing. These are the things that I'm working on, right? If you injure yourself, do you have stuff in your home kit to be able to take care of yourself, right? If you get a bad cut, if you cut something, do you have the gauze and like, do you have the stuff, the tools at your disposal now that you're at home more often, probably, to be able to take care of yourself? Because right now, you don't know when you might be seen, depending on where you live, right? So how can you take care of yourself? How can you keep yourself relaxed? And then if an injury or something like that happens, an accident happens, that you're prepared to help yourself recover and know how to recover. So nutritionally, with fluids, with just treatment of any wound, right? It's like Boy Scout, Girl Scout stuff. Like these are the things that are important. And I'm working on learning more. There's a great story about a man that sailed around the world with his family. One of the big things is they took everyone's like fears, which is information, like, aren't you worried about this? And they're like, actually, it's important if an accident happens, like we're trained, like we're medically trained for most things we'll see. And they just started whittling away at the list, and then they made it as safe as they could for a great adventure where there's lots of unknowns. So we try to do that on a daily, especially when we're exploring now, right? When you do venture out of your space, your safe space, you know how to move, you know how to interact, you know how to protect yourself, you know how to roll, you know how to fall, you know how to catch, you know how to jump, sprint if you needed to, run a long distance, like all these things, just to interact more with nature, and then you benefit from the holistic movement. So this is where I really want to support people more and more. Just from my exploration, it's been amazing. I'm having a lot of fun. It's not easy. It's not easy. It's not supposed to be. But this is why, it's called tempering. Like you're making yourself stronger, more stamina, more power, more flow. Using your senses more. Eyes, ears, smells to help chill you out and relax you, but also to warn you that gas, nope, I smell doesn't smell right. To alert you. So when you know your senses, and you use your senses a lot, you know what vibration's like, you know more extreme temperatures, hot end, really hot end, cold, air, dry, and then you're more adaptable. More anti-fragile, #anti-fragile, you grow from stress, chaos, pressure. Food does that, big time. right? That's why there's food poisoning, allergic reactions. Too much, too big a dose. Minimum effective dose of everything you're doing. Even if it's tempering like this for your skin, your bones. So then if you do accidentally fall or hit something, it's not going to hurt you as much. And if it does, it means you need to train that more. So Peter Pan shadow, play with your shadow, solo practice. I'll read you exactly what I wrote going back, and that holistic movement, right? On really finding your kryptonite and your body, mind, spirit balance, equilibrium, and turn that into your superpower. And then you'll evolve, especially with the other stuff that's going on, right? But it starts with you knowing more about all of those areas for yourself. So I put Peter Pan's shadow. Shadow is versions of himself others might not like mischievous Peter Pan, like so that becomes a shadow, and he's like playing tug of war. No, Shadow, don't do that. Like, and then it ends up happening anyway because he's just playing with himself, like versions of himself, right? So others might not like, so we hide our shadow for fear of rejection. Shadow needs solo time. Like you and Shadow need to connect. Play like Peter plays with his shadow. Self-joy, self-love, self-play, self-nourishment. And then I put Instagram Live because I thought it was a great place to share this. Have a wonderful Friday, flow motion. Flowing comes from being more relaxed. Start with relaxing your face. And that will help your mind chill out and have nice smells, like citrus smells. There's sage is there. There was rose incense in there. Have stuff to help neutralize the space, clear the air. I'm using frankincense, like ancient incense comes from frankincense, to really help just clear the space, clear the air space. So make it more neutral. Create airflow through our space as well. So we're healthier when we're inside. Because what we're breathing is more calms us. These are the things that we've been working on. Candlelight, not as much of this light, right? Flux. This is flux dark room mode. So f.lux. I don't know if you can see it. Color effects. That's dark room. There's movie mode. Can you see that? There we go. Have a wonderful day. Friday.